Shout
There
out to
is
the Bill.
context
I'm gonna post both of his videos. They will be in the description when I repost these again. I saw this too. Kind of wanted to talk about it. The Dreamville boss defending Drake. I was slightly confused, but then I kind of got a little bit of clarity with it, seeing where his relationship with J. Cole was. But again, I still haven't heard the whole thing. So I kind of want to understand, like, I kind of want to see what he was saying, bro.
of this
What up, Get
situation
Chill?
currently. Basically, Ebro was talking about Drake on his podcast. He had said something about Drake dragging it, always talking about the beef. He said he wasn't going to talk about it in the summer, and he is still talking about it now.
So I'm not even
he's
talking
going
about
on
certain people. I'm talking about Drake. I'm not talking about people who are fans. I'm talking about studied craftsmen who are great at contributing and understand what this hip hop shit has been since its
Conception.
yes. Like, and I hate going back to the beef, but guess who keeps bringing the fucking beef up? who said we wasn't gonna be talking about this summer, but guess who the fuck we're talking about, man? So we're not supposed to bring that up either?
now, and he's going on these crazy rants on stage, talking about loyalty and karma and how his karma's straight. Like, he is honestly the one dragging this whole situation.
I
And
didn't
this
get here by being a piece of shit. I
watched
didn't get
this
here by
earlier
being
in
a
the stream,
snake. I didn't get here by being a dickhead. I got here by being good to people, being nice to people, and my karma is straight. That's why I'm still on stage in 2025. Trust me.
You saw
And
it?
this is where Boss comes in. Boss comes in and he starts giving his 2 cents. That's how he starts this paragraph. He says, "My 2 cents" under this post with Ebro. And he says, Drake is among the most, if not the most, inclusive of artists our culture has put forth. Push
Drake is among the most, if not the most, inclusive of artists our culture has put forth. He's the most inclusive artist our culture has put forth. Let me say that again so I can try to understand it. Drake is the most, if not, is among the most, if not the most inclusive of artists our culture. So he's saying Drake includes other people into what he has going on. Is that what he's saying? I mean, if you want to say that, he has collaborated with a lot of people, but inclusive, why though? Right? You have to ask yourself why. There's always a why. And I think we've seen that the why is to typically get something from that artist, which is why he's the most, if not, he's one of, if not the most inclusive, if that makes any sense. Right?
countless rappers,
But that's why I wanted to just break that, just kind of stop that there.
Bro. And he says, Drake is among the most, if not the most, inclusive of artists our culture has put forth. Push countless rappers to the forefront, dancehall artists, Afrobeat artists, R&B artists, reggaeton, older artists, newer artists. I don't get.
So again, it's not like Drake took the back seat and then just said, hey, all of my attention, all of y'all's attention need to be on them. All of y'all need to listen to this rapper. Hey, I'm not rapping on nothing. He's putting out everything, and I'm just gonna be there just to help him and support him. It's not that. Every Afrobeat artist, shout out to Scooter. Every Afrobeat artist, every R&B artist, every reggaeton artist has gotten a feature or something which then allows Drake to get notoriety or a cosign from that specific genre, artist, or culture. That is it. That is it. It's not a kindness of my heart type of deal. You know what I'm saying? It's not, I'm going to buy all your studio time and make sure you record at the and maybe it is. And I'm not saying maybe it is. I just don't know it. And if it is, somebody let me know. But hey, you recording an album out in a reggaeton artist, you recording an album out in Puerto Rico, bro. I'm just gonna pay for. Listen, make sure you come to this studio over here. They're gonna get you right. Talk to bro. He got you. Oh, R&B. Oh, here you go. I'm gonna do this for you. Whatever, whatever, whatever. And and sometimes I think he has done it with the R&B artists. I know he's written some things, but whatever. But I still think that there is this the understanding is that he's only doing it to receive something in turn, right?
This culture narrative that's persisted since the battle. If it's the Canadian thing, Toronto is an hour away from New York City. I'd argue their culture and ethnic makeup is more.
Wait. My bad.
This culture narrative that's persisted since the battle. If it's the Canadian thing, Toronto is an hour away from New York City. I'd argue their culture.
So because Toronto, that just killed any possibility of, okay, I rock with what he's that killed. I mean, it was dead before that. But you say because Toronto is an hour's flight away from New York, Toronto now can assume the culture of New York? Does that make sense to y'all? Wait, Toronto was here. New York is an hour away. Hey, Toronto can assume that culture. That doesn't even make sense. Like, I can understand that there can be bits and pieces that you can take but you're still not gonna understand what happens at home. I think if you take something like California and Mexico in a sense. Like, I've lived there and I've seen the culture. I've seen the culture kind of imprinted in California from Mexico. But it damn sure ain't Mexico. It's not even, I've never been to Mexico, but I know it ain't Mexico. Like, I know it's not. I just know it's not. I know it's not. When I'm in California, I can get watermelon slices on my taco. I'm not going, what the, huh? I'm gonna get a blanket made out of freaking, I don't know, something crazy in California and cost me $3 bands. You can go get a blanket that's gonna last for 200 years in Mexico. Proximity doesn't qualify. That's the point. Just because it's close doesn't mean that you can just assimilate. You can't do that. Like, I get it, there's going to be an imprint because there's going to be some overlap and all of that. Like, I get it. But come on, bro. Stop playing. There's nothing like New York. Beverly Hills is 45 minutes from Compton. Can Beverly Hills claim Compton? Yeah, they can. According to this, make it make sense, bro. I get why he said this, though. We all heard Port Antonio. Hey, look, peppermint. But that's why I said what I said in the beginning about that, because I could kind of see that.
And ethnic makeup is more akin to New York.
Hold on. Whoa. What did he say?
Hour away from New York City. I'd argue their culture and ethnic makeup is more akin to New York City than pretty much any city in the States.
The ethnic makeup is more akin to New York City than any other city in the States? Listen, I can't speak to it because I'm not from there.
New York City, Toronto, London, triumvirate culturally. Surely it's not his pen. He's arguably the greatest writer of a generation. So what is it? I don't think that it's a good idea to compare New York City to Toronto.
Hey, bro, thank you. At least he said it too. This nigga said he's the greatest. He's arguably the greatest writer of a generation. What generation? Whose? He's a generational writer? You know what? Somebody just said, DM, he wants a feature bad. Who does this remind me of? Reason. That's who it reminds me of. If y'all remember, Reason was trying to get out of his deal, or at least that's the story that he said. He was trying to get out of his deal, so he was tweeting, commenting, posting, whatever, a lot of pro Drake stuff during the beef. I don't know if this is the same scenario where he's trying to do the same thing. Maybe he want to get off Dreamville or whatever. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see how that would help, but it kind of gives me that too by saying this crazy, like arguably the greatest writer of the, with all the reference tracks, with all of the instances of stealing, just blatantly stealing lyrics. How can you say that? As an artist, it doesn't make sense. I don't know, man. And I actually like Bro. I actually like Boss.
But the whole point is, I know he is not trying to say just because Toronto and New York City are an hour away from each other that they are the same. They are.
Happy birthday to your sons.
Not the same. The accents are completely different. Look at a Toronto accent and look at somebody from New York's accent.
What are your thoughts on the Toronto accent? I'm not gonna lie, broski, that's just the best accent. My word, Cuddy. Like me, I've been speaking that shit since the womb. I did not cry when I was born. I was like, hey, yo, mama, what you saying, Cuddy? You're good?
Two completely, totally different things. New York City is the birthplace of hip hop. You can't just throw Toronto and Canada in there. There are two different things, not even just talking about hip hop, just talking about in general. Like, what are you even doing saying that? That's not even a good idea. And I like Boss's music. This is just a horrible take all around. Even talking about Drake being the best writer, he says, surely it's not his pen. He's arguably the greatest writer of a generation. So what is it? And this is the part that I have a problem with. This goes back to Drake talking about how he didn't do any people wrong, because we know that Drake has ghostwriters, and we know that one of the ghostwriters that got into a crazy conflict that you could say Drake did snake, because he's saying that he didn't snake any people in his recent speech, but he did snake Quentin Miller. Quentin Miller was definitely somebody who wrote for Drake, and his career out of his own mouth has been rocky ever since that situation came about. That situation is because Drake wasn't a writer. He had a ghostwriter, and he snaked up. Quentin Miller's career wasn't the same after that situation because Drake got exposed. But needless to say, Drake is not the best writer, not when you're considered to have ghostwriters. No.
How? But that's it. That shouldn't be something that we need to discuss. That shouldn't be something that we need to discuss, though. Like I'm trying to make it make sense in my brain, where the best writer, or arguably the best writer of our generation, is receiving ghostwriting help and receiving it heavily. And a lot of times it's not even rapping. He's doing other things. Like, how do those two things match up? It shouldn't. It shouldn't. If he was arguably the greatest writer of our generation, we wouldn't be seeing this. We wouldn't be seeing what we've seen with him as far as getting the help that he's received. It just doesn't make sense. How you the best writer when you don't write? And the thing is, he might write, but what he writes is not that is popping. It don't be this that's popping. It be the other people that wrote it.
No one should be considered the best writer if you have a ghostwriter. I don't like the fact that Boss is somebody who actually is a good lyricist, has songs with Ab-Soul, J. Cole, and everybody from Dreamville artists, all that. But this is just a bad take. I mean, realistically, you can't be the best writer if people write for you. If that's the case, then you don't need anybody to write anything for you. If your pen is that great, if you're that good of a writer, MC, somebody who could make the best lyrics, you don't need someone to write it for you. So I don't want to hear the argument that Drake writes for other people because other people write for Drake, and it's never been something that he could just do on his own. It's always been some type of help, some type of assistance when it comes to writing lyrics, an idea of something. It always comes from him or somebody else. It's never just going to be an original thought. And even if it was, we will never know because he already tarnished that legacy of having a writer.
Facts.
You know, we don't never hear about Eminem having a writer.
Ever.
We don't hear about Kendrick having a writer.
Ever.
There's just certain rappers in this industry, in this game, that don't need a writer, and they're known for not having one.
But then even the take and the tone that he took on, like, how do you feel about artists having writers? He said, you know what? Sometimes you just need a little help. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, if y'all remember that video where he spoke on having writers is just like, you know what, like I don't think it's a big deal. I think a true writer would I mean, and that's anything. That's books, that's music, whatever, that's movie. If you're a writer, bro, there's no way you would ever allow someone to attach their name to your work. There's no, I couldn't live with knowing that somebody could just come out any day and be like, bro, you didn't do that. I did that. That's a pride issue for me. And maybe it's something I need to work on. But I could never allow someone to have that kind of weight.
A flow pattern, I can't never predict anything. It's the same thing if I getting on the track with Kendrick. That to me is like a top tier lyricist because it's like you can get your ass kicked any day.
They're known just to create their own original lyrics by themselves. So for someone like Boss, who's a good MC, to even say this take, it's a big L. Even comparing New York City to Toronto, that's a big L too. Respectfully, I don't really see why he went out his way to say this, bro. It just doesn't make sense. Really feel like he was trying to push that because Drake is Canadian, that's why we have a problem with him. That's not or at least for Ebro, right? Because that's who he's talking to. But that's not the case, bro. If it really was that, then we would have a problem with The Weeknd. We would have a problem with other rappers that come from Toronto. But that's not the case at all. We don't have a problem with artists that come from Toronto or Canada. So that can't be the reason why anybody has an issue or a problem. Now, I'm not sure why he said New York City, maybe because it's close or maybe because he's talking to Ebro. But you can't compare Canada, Toronto to New York City, bro. That's something that you just can't do. Whether it just be in the hip hop aspect or just in general, New York City and Toronto are two different locations. And the people that live in those cities will probably agree with that. You would think that somebody from Dreamville would have a better take than this, honestly, considering that they actually have a lot of people that know how to write and know how to.
But here's my other thing. You didn't have to say nothing. You just inserted yourself into something that just made you look dumb. I like Boss. I would have never thought that he's somebody I gotta look at like this nigga. What nigga? What you say? Toronto and New York are close enough to where culturally they're similar? Get the fuck out of here, bro. What are you talking about? Sound dumb. Like, stop making these arguments, bro. Just make music, man. Like, now you got people looking at you weird for no reason. You ain't have to do that. Just, what up? 190 likes, 250 watching. Yes, let's get 200 likes in the stream. Queens in the building. Queens here. Queens in the building.
Over there, you would think that Boss would have came with a better take. But when you give your 2 cents, you get a lot of people's 2 cents right after that. And my 2 cents is that's a bad take, bro. I really think that you should have just sat that one out. But y'all can tell me how you feel about this and get back to me, man. Y'all can tell me how you feel about what he said about Drake and get back to me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.
Hey, man, shout out to the homie DeVille, man. That was, I mean, we had the same damn take, me and his take. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't make any sense, man. Listen, guys, this is my first day back. I'm trying to work out the kinks a little bit. It's my first day back. Like I said before, I didn't say this, but before the stream, I'm getting some lag now too, but before the stream, bro, my computer wasn't working, my camera wasn't working, my mic wasn't working. I had to fix everything, so it took me a lot longer to hop on today. Pause. But I will be back tomorrow. Today is my birthday, man. So thank you everybody for the birthday wishes. Thank you to everybody for all of the donos. Everybody who dono, everybody, including Renee, you are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for everything, man. Thank you for the gifted subs. Thank you for everybody that became a member. Thank you to anybody who subscribed today. I'm gonna try to cut these up a little bit so we can go ahead and make sure we're not getting a lot of that filler in there. But thank y'all so much for everything. And like I said, just all the love y'all showed my family. I really appreciate it. I love y'all, man. I will see y'all in the next one. Happy birthday. Enjoy your day. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Free Renee, where's she at? Happy Born Day. Shout out to everybody. Welcome back. Free deleted too. Free deleted too. But yeah, shout out to everybody, man. Thank y'all so much. And I will see you guys in the next one. I'm out. Peace.